Farescape engineers, inspect the summary video. We're here in St. James, New York. We've got a fire escape here on the school. A couple of pointers. The fire escape is an all welded fire escape. There's no bolts here. So I estimate this fire escape to be about 25 plus minus years old. Could be a little bit older than 25 years old. Our biggest problem right now, which is going to be seen from underneath, is really just what happens when you have welded connections that are not sealed from water. So you're getting a lot of ice jacking, rust jacking, where water's gotten in and it's separating materials. So for first part, let's talk about the general. You got a lot of debris that's accumulating here from the trees. So this has got to be cleaned, because this will over time, this stays wet and this will actually eat the steel. We've got a lot more over here. So whenever possible, always have somebody come in and just clean all the debris. Any and all debris, can't have any obstructions. So you got to be careful that people are not putting anything that's an obstruction in case somebody needs to get out. But again, it's an all welded fire escape. So I'm going to be showing you what's happening with all the molding that's sitting on top of this channel. It's called rust jacking, and it's popping here. So I'm going to go into great detail what needs to happen. But a majority of the problems with a rusted, with a wall welded fire escape is that I either load test it to verify the weld, or I can just reinforce the connection with a clip, and I don't need to ever load test it in the future because the clip becomes the new primary connection. So that's what I'm going to talk about right now, what seems to be the main. So let me grab the camera. Well, our main issue right now on a lot of these, for example, supports to the ground. I can't, either I have to do an x-ray on that, or as soon as I pop some bolts in here through the channel and seal this up with silicone on top, I've basically nullified the need to verify this weld. So in a lot of these connections, I'm going to show you from underneath. So I want a clip there, clip over there, and then these angles, I need a clip on either side, because I'm going to show you how the welds are now being eaten from the inside out. That connection there needs a bolt, and then you got to seal that connection because the rust, you can see the rust in this corner. Look, all the rust in here. So that needs to be cleaned, and then it needs to be rebolted so that I don't have to verify that weld. But even then, that rust has grown, so that's a compromised connection. So that's the biggest problem with a lot of these welded connections, is that the water does get in there. So every one of these posts going down has been compromised. Every one of these superstructure framing is compromised. So let's walk down. You can start seeing all the rusting that's happening on all your railings. So all these railings need to be separated so that we can get in there. In some cases it's simple, you know, you just come in here, you cut the molding here, cut the molding there, take this up, get in there, fix, clean it out, then put the molding back. Now the biggest problem you're going to have is all fire escapes that are older than 1978, they're presumed to have lead. I don't believe this one's going to have lead, but we need to have a verification that this paint doesn't have lead. Otherwise, renovator's license applies and you can't weld on this fire escape. So bolting is going to be the only answer on this particular fire escape. But that connection there, bolted. All the superstructure, bolted. All the angles coming down, bolted. And if there's rust in that connection, I want it cleaned out first, then rebolted. Look at all that rust inside there. So you got to clean all that out, then bolt it. If some cases you can't tear this apart for whatever reason, then you got to clean out as much as you can. Then you got to seal it with 50-year silicone. Then you got to put at least 1 5/8 in both directions, or 2 1/2 inches. All these treads you're going to see from underneath. 100% of these treads need to be rebolted because the rust is getting in from above. And let me show you that and what it looks like. Look at all that water getting in there. Look at all that water getting in there. That's blown away. So all these treads need to be cleaned out. Look at all that right there. Okay, so all those need to be cleaned out. And let me show you some zoom ups from underneath. Look, see all the rust? See all the accumulation? See how much rust is there? All that needs to be cleaned. And you got to seal it from above so water doesn't get behind there. I got photographs of these connections. See how much rust is there? These are all compromised welds now that only an angle clip, other than doing an x-ray. See all that? All that needs to be redone. This one. So you need to nullify these connections. Let me see if I have some more, but I'll step underneath now. But there's quite a bit of rust on this entire fire escape. It does need a paint job because it's been a while. You need to seal these feet so that the snow here doesn't eat the bottom. But let me show you just what's happening on the rail separation. So you need to separate the rails, get these rails all out, popped out, and then put them back on top of the channels. But then you got to seal all those joints. Look at all that rust. And as you can go up, see, these have all popped. So now we got to come in here, and you got to cut the weld in the back. You got to cut the weld in the front. Take this tread out, clean it all out because it's eating your channel. And it's both sides. Both sides are bad on this. Okay. So let's take a look at the feet. I need you to clean up, open up these feet, hit the cement down below, then wrap a sonotube around it and come 6 to 8 inches above grade. And if possible, tar the feet prior to putting cement around this so that the grass is now going to go on, exactly onto there's some cement. Let's take a look at right there. See the rust? So this is what happens with all welded fire escapes. They accumulate water and they just start tearing apart. So I want every welded connection so I don't have to verify it with a very expensive x-ray. As soon as you pop bolts through them at all the connections. So every one of these connections needs a backup clip and it needs to be sealed with 50-year silicone. So all the feet need to be cemented so that they're above the line of grass, and any and all welded connections. See how bad that connection is right there? So I expect to see 2 1/2-inch, if not 1 5/8 bolts on all the major structural. All the railing cap is popping, as you can imagine, so we probably have to pop off all the railing cap and then put it back in. I would recommend sealing the silicone with silicone the inside of the channel prior to bolting down the molding back on, but again, and it needs a full repair. If this fire escape does have lead, they want a full, I want to have a renovator's license on this, whoever's doing the work, and in confirmation with the city, any and all repairs must be done with a permit unless advised by the inspector that a permit is not required. They need to be a permit on this. This fire escape is definitely going to need oversight, 3 to 5 visits. This one can be done with 3 visits, so definitely there's going to be a requirement that whoever the engineer of record is on this, he must be here at the initial start of any repairs, in the mid to confirm repairs are being done, and then as a final. Otherwise, you can't just come in at the end of this when all work is done. It has to have engineer oversight in order to be considered a certified repair as per the inspection criteria guidelines submitted to the fire official in lieu of a load test. Any questions? Fire escape engineers, inspector summary video. This is Inspector Meneses, 800-649-3333, 800-649-3333.